All right, YouTube, what is going on? So, this is something that I've been putting off and putting off and putting off, but I finally grabbed myself a Greenlight SD truck. And as you can see, I grabbed the Quaker State Pennzoil truck, which wouldn't be my first choice, but it also wouldn't be my last. So, first thing that really glaringly stands out is that the step-ups, the gas tanks, and the side view mirrors are not chrome. The level of detail on this is actually quite impressive. You know, there's a lot of plastic on it, but that's okay. I mean, with the amount of detail, there is a lot of detail for the price point. There's no question. A lot of detail for the price point. Now, you don't get lens headlights, but I mean, if you look, the painted detail, while there are some paint flaws, it's when it's executed right, it looks really good. There are 12 tires on this truck because the rear two axles are dualies, so there's, you know, 4 on each side, and then the spare tires here, you know, there's 1 on each side, and then the front. The fender flare looks awesome. I mean, this is an awesome looking truck. It really is. It really is a great looking truck. And of the SD trucks, I think, I don't know. The dump truck I like, but I do tend to like this one the most, I think. And I think it's in large part because of all the detail, particularly, let me remove the stop sign here, back here. And I know my lighting probably isn't going to allow for much visibility, but you have the pumps and the switches, and I mean, that right there is pretty awesome. So, and then you have all this detail back here. The fire hazard, you've got your turn indicators, your brake lights, the ladders. I mean, it's a lot of detail at I don't know what the price point is, but I only paid $12, which I got this at a secondhand store. So I know these retail at Hobby Lobby for $20. So by the time you get your 40% off, you're paying $12. But I think at $12, I think it's a great value. I think even at $20, I think it's a fair price point, considering to get like a first gear or something like that. I forget the other big truck brand, but those are 60 to 70. So, you know, really cool Greenlight for the collection. It's the first SD truck. And I'm not going to collect these. I'm just going to try to grab one of each. Okay, but I did get some really cool stuff today. More stuff. It's been a crazy couple days of diecast. Real quick, before I get into today's haul, let's take a look at this G63 Mercedes-Benz. This is the 6x6, and it's an unnamed brand, China exclusive as far as I know. It looks absolutely killer. The only thing with this casting is that it's really long. It's scale accurate, and it's not going to fit in the carny case, so I'm going to have to put this one back in the acrylic. I mean, look at the wipers. It's a lot of detail. There's the front end. Side view mirrors look really good. I had this out with the Kyosho G-Wagon. This thing is massive compared to the G-Wagon, and I think proportionately that they're both pretty darn close to scale. I think that the fit and finish is much better with the Kyosho. I think the taillights, they just, everything looks cleaner, you know, like this type of stuff that we see right here along the top of the truck bed. You just don't see that kind of stuff with Kyosho. It's not to take anything from this truck. This is a very, very nice truck. It's really hard to gauge a value on this because just in the last 30 to 60 days, the selling price on these castings ranges from like 30 to 100. And there's really no rhyme or reason to explain that. So, but I mean, you know, it came out in black, white, and I think there might be a silver one. The silver one would generally be my first choice, but this one, you know, first of all, this was a gift, so I'll take any color. But the fact that I got a white one, I'm very pleased about that. I just love this type of die-cast. It's my favorite stuff to collect. And you can see just how awesome this thing looks. It's a total urban assault vehicle. So much nicer looking than the Matchbox. Okay, what else did I get? I have an M2 casting that every time I post it, I get people messaging me on it. I get a lot of compliments on it. And I didn't know, but about probably 8 months ago, I posted a picture of it, and a couple of people commented on it about how rare it is. I didn't realize it was as hard to find as it is, and I didn't realize how expensive it is. Here's the casting here. It's a 2015 release of the 69 Ford F100 from M2. Now, when it was released, it wasn't released with the lifted suspension like I have here. I did a base swap on this truck to give it that lift because it just looks 100 times better. And the truck that I did the base swap with is this one here. It's not this exact truck, but it was the same truck. I happened to get another one today from the Titanium series, and this is a really cool looking truck too. I do have to admit that I think that this casting with all of its flaws, I do think is nicer than the Greenlight. I just wish it didn't have opening doors. Now, luckily, you know, the doors on this one, passenger door is decent. Driver's side door could be better, but I've seen much worse. And quite frankly, on this truck, I don't care about the shut lines because I just needed this truck for the base. And the reason that I needed it for the base is because of this truck here. I have already done the base swap. So this base was on the titanium truck, and the titanium truck base was on this truck. But I wanted this blue truck with the lifted suspension. So a little bit of a bed alignment issue it's really difficult to get it to line up. This has the fuel injected engine. It's got the yellow headlight lenses. And the last one of these trucks that sold on eBay sold for $25, which is insane to me because there are some listed for less than that. Let's see if the hood closes properly. It actually does. Looks good. I like it. So the reason that I brought this one out, this is a real desirable deco on this truck. Greenlight has tried replicating it. It's a truck that I think a lot of collectors would like to have, but it's kind of become hard to find. So, but with that being said, one of my local honey holes, which is Cubbyhole Collectibles, he got a collection in of M2, and I went in there today, and he had a bunch of M2, and just so happened to have that truck. So this is what it looks like. That's what it looks like, and then that's what it looks like after you lift it. So you can see why I did it. I mean, it looks 100 times better. But even like this, it's just a tough truck to find, and prices are kind of all over the place on this one too. I know I don't think I would sell it for less than 20 or 25. I don't know. I might try to just use it for trade. But for those of you that want it to look like that, if you're interested, I have a base for a base swap. This is a really cool deco too. This one, I don't know. I might end up keeping that. I don't know yet. I also found the 67, same casting. A little bit different front grille, I think. Yep. Oh, that's a nice looking front grille. I might need to put that on a lifted base with those white tires. I don't know, guys. I might actually take this truck and put it on that base. And then I also replaced my white 240Z because I have this car, but one thing I've noticed with these Auto Japan cars, I've had it happen to two Skylines and a Z, is if you take the base off, they allow for maybe one or two removals of the base. Anything more than that, and you're liable to strip out the post, and then you're screwed. So anyways, those are the M2s that I picked up. This one will for sure be for sale or for trade. The other two I'm not sure yet. I may keep them to put that 67 truck on the lifted base here. But I thought this looks pretty cool here. It's like a frosty metallic blue. To get it on a lifted base was something that I wanted to do. I still think this is the best looking M2 truck though. So anyways, there's that. What else did I get? Okay, I grabbed this because with all the Johnny Lightning Land Cruisers, I don't have the hardtop with the civilian deco. Actually, I have the blue one, and I have the red one, and I have the red roached out one, but none of those have the off-road package with the safari rack, the jack, and the ladder, and the push bar, and the winch. So I wanted to get a nice civilian example of the off-road Land Cruiser. And that right there is what you have to watch for with this hardtop. That one's really bad. This side looks good. Awesome truck though. I mean, you guys know I love my Toyotas, especially this. It's not a great casting, but it's not terrible. It's not bad. It's actually a really nice casting. I would love to see Kyosho or Tomoka Limited Vintage do it, but whatever. I'll take the Johnny. Another casting that I got today that is awesome, and there are just over 3,000 of them made, but with that being said, it's still extremely hard to find here in the United States because it's an Indonesian exclusive. Here's the driver for the car. I have the other 3 Bishop exclusive models. This is the one that came out just a little bit later, and I never did get it. And it is easily my favorite. I like this car more than the Brie. I like the Deco more so than the Brie Decos. I think this right here is the most awesome looking Datsun 510 race car in 1:64 scale. It just looks so killer with that chevron deco and those wheels, those open spoke, deep dish. Let me see if I can get them in the light. The wheels really set this casting off. I mean, come on. I just don't think it gets better than that. Look how rad this thing looks. Now, this is an expensive car. It's not a chase car. But to go onto eBay and buy one of these, it's not cheap. And there is no number stamped on it. Not real sure what that's about. It does appear, unfortunately, to have a little bit of gangster lean. And that sucks. This casting is not one of the known castings to have that issue. Like the 3rd Gen Trans Am and the GTR and the R34. There are some Greenlight castings that are notorious for having offset bases. This is not one of them. I have now, if you count the 510s I have now and all the ones that I've had that have left my collection, it's probably around 15 different examples. I've never seen the offset base. This is the first time, so that's a bummer. It still rolls really nice, and it looks stellar. I mean, it looks amazing. So it'll take great pictures, and I just love that livery. I mean, I love that livery. I just love it. I think it just looks so good. It looks so much better than the Brock Racing, in my opinion. Very happy to add this one to the collection. Okay, what else did I get? I already have this, but it was so cheap. The guy that took and sold the cubbyhole, the M2s, he had a whole bunch of post round 2 Johnny Lightning stuff. And I grabbed this one because I have this one and I wheel swapped it and it looks awesome. And I've had a couple people message me about it, basically asking if it's available for trade. And of course it's not, but now I do have one for trade, and I do have a spare set of wheels that I can trade with it. They're basically the G-body Monte Carlo wheels. So they're actually proper wheels for the car. So if any of you are interested in that, I may post that up to IG. What am I? Oh, two more cars. So this is a Tomica limited vintage best Brandon diecast for 1:64 scale. No doubt about that. And this right here is a 1989 Nissan Gloria Gran Turismo SV. So here's the box and the packaging. And does it come with mirrors? Oh no, they're on there. Okay. Yeah, what's kind of weird about this casting is that the spoiler comes pre-attached. That doesn't seem to happen all that often with Tomica Limited Vintage, but it's just an awesome looking car. It looks to me a lot like that 89 Maxima. I mean, it looks a lot like the Maxima to me. I don't think it is the same car. I think that the Gloria is rear-wheel drive, but man, the similarities in the body style. I had an 89 Maxima, And this right here is an 89 Gloria, and they look, they look a lot alike, especially up in the front end. Not so much the grill, but like the front quarter panels and the hood, and also the rear quarter panels. But for those of you detailed diecast collectors that aren't collecting Tomica Limited Vintage, you are missing out. And I know that they can be hard to collect at the price, but they're just so worth it. There just is no substitute. I know Aoshima has done some cars that look pretty similar to this. They're just not the same quality. This is metal body, metal base. They have suspension, prototypical wheels, soft rubber tires, the most crystal clear glass that you'll see on a 1/64 scale car. Accurate details, accurate headlights and taillights, which are separate pieces. They're just amazing diecast cars, and I can't get enough of them. As a collector, if I can add one of these into my collection every month, I'm content with that. But every now and then they'll have a release where I need, it'll be like a 4-car. Like, for example, the one they just announced was the Mitsubishi what is it? Parejo or something like that. They're doing an EF9 Honda Civic. They're doing a Lancer Evolution. They're doing a Ferrari 512 TR. And they're also doing a Ferrari Testarossa. So, when all of those come out, I need to get at least one example of each one. And that's going to cost a couple hundred, $200 to $250. So, now that's not going to happen until September. So, I have time to plan for that. But it's just a brand that it's unparalleled. I mean, especially if you like doing dioramas and layouts. By far, they look the most realistic. I'd put Kyosho probably at second place in that category. Although, the last car we're going to look at, I did get another one today. So, the only color I don't have is now white. I did pick up the black one. This is from Hobby Japan, the 3rd gen Honda Prelude SI. And I just had to have it. It just looks so freaking good. This casting it's a stellar casting. The design, the sculpted detail, the execution of the replication, build quality is good. It's not great. But the overall look it's great. I mean, it's excellent. Black is not the most ideal color for cars of this scale, but I had to have it. If nothing else, I can base swap this with my red one, because the red one has the messed up wheel. But I think I almost like the black one better than the red one. I mean, it doesn't matter. My favorite of all of them is that silver one right there. That's the dark blue. That one I'm not going to be opening. But that one right there is the best looking. And then to me, the white one is not far behind. So for me, it goes that silver or pewter color, then white, then probably black, and then red, and then blue. The only thing is, that blue, if I take that out of the package, it could be, a really awesome looking color. But you guys got to get your Hobby Japan Prelude. I think the price on these, is going to go up, because I think that there's going to be a lot of demand for these. And they're, when you see a car that was very popular in real life that's never been done before in 1/64 scale, typically those cars climb in price, and it's not out of the realm of possibilities that this skyrockets in value. They're also going to be doing a Honda Integra, a third gen Integra, which is basically the same body style as the Erdl casting. They're also doing a Toyota Soarer, which looks sick. I mean, it looks way better than the Konami or the Kyosho. They're also doing a couple other cars, so it's definitely. I think they're doing a third gen CRX with the glass back. That's a car that's never been done in 1:64. Actually, it has. Johnny Lightning did it, but that's a sad excuse of a casting. Um, it's nice for what it is, but you can't compare that to a Kyosho or a Tomica Limited Vintage. It's not in the same league. So they have some cool stuff coming out, and Inno64 does some nice stuff. Tarmac Works does some nice stuff, but the thing about Inno and Tarmac is their focus is on race cars and custom cars, and Hobby Japan is basically going to focus on stock factory decos, factory wheels, and that's right in my wheelhouse. That's what I like to collect. So honestly, if this brand did all of the Inno and Tarmac castings, but they just did them with stock suspension and stock liveries, I'd be happy with that. That's a lot of great detail for that little car. And the wheels. These wheels they are very nicely done. So anyways, that's it for my video. Also, these Hobby Japan Preludes are nice rollers. That's something else you don't always get with premium detailed stuff in this scale, particularly Tarmac and Inno. So another shout out to Tor Eric Bake or Tabake for the box yesterday. Those Shuko cars are amazing. That Golf is, and the Mercedes. I'm so glad that I was able to get those, especially at those prices. One other car that I didn't look at, I totally forgot. It's not anything great, but this is from the new Matchbox opening parts. Check this out. It's a Crown Vic with opening rear doors. How cool is that? It sucks that the doors are plastic, but I mean, that's a better shut line than M2. What's the livery? Is that, I think this is a licensed livery, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Boone County. That's the guy. There's a Matchbox enthusiast who I think is a retired sheriff from Boone County, and he has developed a relationship with the folks at Matchbox, and they've done a decent small assortment of Boone County police cars. So here's another one for that collection. But anyways, yeah, another great diecast day, and I'm glad because it's probably going to be the last one for a while. But if any of you are interested in this truck, just like everything else I have available, just holler at me on Instagram. And if you buy one with the lifted base, you could have it looking like this. And shout out to the Toy Pimp. Most of this stuff, like the Land Cruiser, the Gloria, the Prelude, the Dotto, those 4 cars came from the Toy Pimp at Cubbyhole. And shout out to Mike at Cubbyhole for the Ford trucks. He has a ton of M2 stuff that's unopened. And it's not junk stuff either. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like M2. But the castings that he had there were the nicer, more desirable M2 castings. Lots of Apaches, lots of Econolines, Ford Falcon club wagons. He had a lot of the Auto Japan stuff, Skylines and 510s and 240Zs. So there was a whole bunch of it to choose from. Probably 150, maybe 200. So a lot to choose from. So if you're in the Phoenix area, get on over there if you want yourself some M2. I think on average he was asking about $6 a piece. So, he's asking retail prices for them. But, all right, that's it, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I'll holler at the next video. One other quick thing. I forgot about this. So there's a hobby shop. It's called Hobby Bench. It's right across the street from Cubbyhole. I'm going to set the camera down because I have to grab something. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. I think I could set this on top of the Land Cruiser. I don't know. Ooh. Okay, so Hobby Bench it's a hobby shop. And it's a pretty decent hobby shop, too. They don't have a ton of train stuff, but they did have some. They had this Bachmann Plasticville USA. These little kits. Here's the different kits that they have. So, Cape Cod House. There's only a couple of these that I'd be interested in for a diorama. The post office, I might be interested in something like that. Maybe the supermarket, but probably not. Maybe the barn, depending on the type of layout I was doing. Same thing with the farm buildings. Same thing with the water tank. The ranch house, it doesn't do much for me. See, the motel with the pool I think would be kind of cool. That is something I would do on a layout. This is the one that I got, the split level house. So I'm going to put that together. I'm going to build a layout for it and try to manipulate the ground so that the front yard is elevated up towards the porch. So we'll see how it comes out. Obviously I got to put the house together and paint it first. And once I do that, then I'll worry about the layout. Platform station. This one's pretty cool. The under construction house. Here is not a very good looking gas station. Although if you were doing like a ghost town scene, that would be awesome. There's a lot you could do with that. Drive-in burger stand. This is the other house that I would consider doing. And honestly, I didn't even look to see if they had it. I hate that color, but if you painted it your color, it probably wouldn't look so bad. This building here would be cool because you could use that as a loading platform for the Greenlight box trucks. and I think that's about it. Now, one other thing too, when I was there, you know my Woodland Scenics built up gas station that I have on the overpass layout, they had that same thing, but it wasn't weathered like mine. So I wonder what's going on with that. That's really weird. It looked horrible without all the weathering. They were asking $90 for it too. Jeez. All right, everybody. Almost 40 minutes. Hopefully you enjoyed the diecast, but, leave your thoughts and comments below. I will holler at you all at the next diecast video. I'm going to go put a house together. Cars, more cars. Cars out yonder. Cars over at the house. Cars stacked up on the road. Cars, mailman, cars. All right, peace out.